GSR Tier 1 Round 5 here at the Silverstone circuit. Still waiting to get underway for this race here. But today we go into this race with FRA Venom leading the champion. No, sorry, Jabali MSU leading the championship with 88 points, 23 points ahead of the man who is not here today, which is FRA Venom. Sam Cole in third on 50, FH7 behind him on 43, and GSR Patriot rounds out the top 5 in points on 40. Constructors wise, Aston Martin lead the constructors with Haas hot on their heels. Alfa Romeo not too far behind Haas. Mercedes also very high up there. Anyway, we are here for Silverstone. Guys, and here we go. Gonna be quiet for the first minute. There we go then. A minute of silence towards Lewis Whitby's dad, who sadly passed earlier this week. As we have the first signs of cars coming out onto track. One of the Red Bulls and one of the Ferraris, the first two out on the track. I believe it's a Williams of GSR Deluxe was coming out. Yes, it is. Here we go though. For this qualifying session around here at the beautiful Silverstone circuit. Edgars is the first one out on the track. Brute, Jab, Black Raw, Field the Power and Cormac all opting for their first laps on the mediums. Oh, it's J Hidalgo there, actually spins around early in this qualifying session, finding his feet here, as it is quite a tricky track in some aspects. We're going to ride on board with Edgars here. Or there's actually, it seems like an on-track battle between Ruben and Deluxe. There goes Deluxe past Ruben for a track position early on in the session. Edgars then, he's going to be the first to start and finish a lap. Granted, he does not invalidate it. Right on board with the man in the Ferrari. Through Chapel, heading up the straight in towards Stowe Corner. One of the trickier corners to get right on this track here, as you can very easily go wide and get an invalidation or get a warning in the race. Edgars starting his lap then, through the final corner, onto turn 1. Comes Edgars. Beautifully taken there, easy flat through turn 1. Doesn't touch the grass through turn 2. Does he lock up into turn 3? No, he does not. Very, very nice from Edgars here so far. Out of Abbey in the loop section, onto the straight, down towards Luffields and Brooklands. Gonna go to the broadcast camera, 27.3 first sector from Edgars there. Let's see what Deluxe is going to do. Deluxe does also a 0.3 in the sector 1. Ruben giving Badders a big slipstream, who is on his outlap there. As I believe that's Phil the Power also competing sector 1. Not able to see what time he did, but we'll go back on board with again as he rides on Cop's corner. As there's a slow car, I believe, turn 4 there. Edgar's very, very good through the middle sector. What's it going to be for him? He's in 1. It goes quite wide and over the bumps. It doesn't get invalidated somehow. And there's a 1 minute 2.9 sector. Through that in it's going to be 26 points. The Lux missed the lap. It's only a 26.9 for him. Ruben around the final corner. What's he going to be able to do? It's a 27.4 for the man in the Red Bull. Phil the Power actually only 6 tenths off. Okay, boxes. Aston Martin of Jab 2 tenths off Edgar's on the medium compound tire. It's a great lap from him there. Cormac on the mediums. Not been the best lap for him. Daruk Gorgon just behind him, also on the medium compound tyre. There's an Alpine of Blacks Raw coming around the final corner on the mediums as well. These lot very quick in the mediums. Black Raw, 9th, not bad Irving in tier 1 today. So FH has lost his wings somewhere. Going very, very weak to Stowe. The one who's got Bocas really the next one to cross the line here. You do. Going up to the Vale chicane, then on board with Boca 2.3 in the middle sector. Badders of the first laps over Sharpie, getting given a small slipstream there by Brooke Gorgon through Brooklands. Through Cops now from Sharpie, manages to keep it flat in 8th gear. Obviously in that Alfa Romeo. Through Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel here in this very twisty turning middle sector. So let's go down to 4th gear. Very, very nicely there from Sharpie. Also setting 1 minute 3.1 in the middle sector. We're going to stay on board with Sharpie here. Can he take Edgar's off that pole position? Stowe does not invalidate it. Through down into the Vale chicane. Doesn't get on the curb. Doesn't lose it under traction. Sharpie around the final corner. It is 0.7. Who's gone again here, and there's been a 0.5 sector. Coming up just out of the way. Does he get it? He does wide a bit on the 8. Okay, just a few times. I'm not able to... Oh, disconnected. Brilliant. Brilliant. I have it from the game. Could be joining. Hopefully it does. Back in Shun. And Badders, he managed to set a 120. Because of that from him. But Deluxe is going to be the next one to start a lap here. Doesn't cut turn 1. Keep it clean through there with Sam as well. Very good from him. This is just with Ferrari. Edgar's not too far behind Sam. So here comes Deluxe off the loop section, down the straight, in towards. He is half a tenth down on his 0.3 first sector. Sam also does a Johan Algo. Towery up just for a tenth of a second. Deluxe flat through Cops there. That was very nice to watch from the man in the Williams. Really attacking these curves through Maggots, Beckett, and now into Chapel. Just has to stay into 5th gear. Doesn't run this time. He's a 10.5 down. Middle sector. Sam Cole. Lap. Next on the lap behind him is Ruben, but he is invalid. So Deluxe, will he be able to improve on his lap? Into the Vale lane here. He doesn't get the nicest exit. Is it going to be an improvement? No, it's not. It actually is, sorry, by half a tenth. Sam pops his Red Bull up into P4. Edgar's going to be going again here. The next car behind him is Jab on the soft compound tyre. Around the final corner, Jab goes to pole with a 1:26.2. 4.5 tenths quicker than Sharpie. As Phil now is 6 tenths up on his best lap. He would be currently going into P2, the man in the other Williams today. So he rounds the Stowe corner into the Vale chicane here from Phil. He does not mess it up on traction. It's been from what I've seen so far. Phil around the final corner. He pops up into P2. Next to finish a lap. I believe it's the Haas of Gorgon who is 12.5 seconds down. I think that's everyone. Apart from Badders who's on an out lap. Boca might have actually just started a lap here, as he is backed off with Phil behind him. So yeah, next one to start a lap will be Badders. Then into Stowe. Badders getting ready to start one of his final laps, if not the final lap of the session. This is a permanent yellow flag in sector 2 for, I believe, Boca. Yeah, which time is left? 5 minutes. So then into Abbey at turn 1. Very nice from the McLaren. Through farm at turn 2. The village now doesn't tap that red curb on the inside, keeps it nice and clean into the loop section. Very good exit off the loop through Aintree now, keeps it nice through down the Wellington straight. Heading, what is his first sector off up here? Very good first sector from Badders into Luffield. Does he touch the gravel on exit? He doesn't even, he barely touches the curb on exit. Very nice, so through Woodcut now, keeps it away from the barrier, doesn't want any risk in the blue car or the McLaren. Now onto the opening, 3.5 tenths up for Badders here. Here's McLaren up into the top, head into Stowe corner. Does he pop? He runs wide, but does not invalid very close there. Into Vale now. Does he tap the inside curb? No, he doesn't. Very, very good lap from Badders through Club. What's the time going to be? It is 4 and in the McLaren. Next person to finish the lap will be Cormac, but he is at 9 tenths up and invalidated, unluckily. Hidalgo then, going to be the only one. As Phil going slowly. Hidalgo almost running wide into Stowe. Hidalgo through Vale. His very good setup from Hidalgo. Into Abbey and through Farm. Very, very nice from him. Easy flat those corners through into the loop section here, and now Aintree, as he has a Mercedes of Mr. Boca in front of him down the Wellington straight up into Brooklands. Boca still in the Alpha Tauri's way. J. Hidalgo goes wide and unfortunately invalidates his lap. And we have Leighton joining us. He'll be the 15th driver in this Tier 1 race. This next to start our lap is the man we're on board with currently, Mr. Boca in the other Mercedes. His teammate FH currently up in P5. Boca down in P10 here. Jab on pole yet again, currently in this session. Boca rounding Stowe, setting up his lap here. The inside curve at Club, very, very aggressive inside curve. Through Abbey, through Farm, keeps it us. Into Village. Ooh, very, very, very bad from Boca there in Village. and he decides to back off on his lap. I believe the next one to start lap will be actually his teammate FH through Club onto the Hamilton straight. Decides to keep it in 7th here. Very interesting. Shift up the 8th halfway through Abbey and Farm. Does he mess up Village like his teammate did? No, he does not. Through into the loop section now. Does he slide on exit? No, he does not. Through Aintree. Very, very neat from the man in the Mercedes. Down the Wellington straight. He's only 1 milli up here. Jab actually going as well. What will Jab be up in the first sector? If he is up in the first sector. He is up by 1400 as Algo retires in the pits. FH through Cops decides to go down into 7th gear there, losing quite a lot of time. Not the best line through because Leighton is already out of the pits, and I believe going around Cops here on his outlap. We'll get back on board with FH as he finishes sector 2 out of Chapel, is about 1/10 up. There's quite a few cars in this final sector. The first of them is going to be ETSR Edgars, who keeps out the way in So. He's got a Haas in front of him of Brute Gorgon. He also keeps out the way. His teammate is just in front of him, who has gone for another lap, I believe. FH finishing his lap. What's it going to be? P3 for the man in the Mercedes. Jab going to be the next man to finish a lap. I'm not sure if he was up in sector 2 or not. But here he comes then, around the final corner of Club. What's it going to be for Jab? It's a .1. As Black Raw is rounding the final corner here as well. He goes P8. I believe that's Sam Cole behind him. He pops up into P3. So no one able to challenge Jab at the moment. As there is a Alfa Romeo VOA Sharpie rounding Stowe 3/10 up. It's not going to be enough for him to challenge Jab in this session. Unless he finds another 3/10 in this final sector. Sharpie, only P2. Bill is improving. Edgars, I'm not sure. Badders, I'm not sure. Boca! This is out on the inside of Cops there. Not very good for the man in the Mercedes. Still going to hurt his confidence as Cormac is actually 3.9 seconds up. He'd be going into P5 here as he invalidates at Stowe. Heartbreak. As Phil is down in sector 2 very aggressively. Edgars was 2/10 up in. He also is not in only P11 for him. Leighton 1 lap. Club, what's it going to be for Leighton? It's P9. Very good lap for him. So then, your feet. Jab, yet another pole this season under his belt. Sharpie with another impressive front row start for him. As Jab has had pole at every race so far. Phil on his debut claims a P3. Sam with an impressive P4, and Finn with, I believe, his near highest start of the season in P5. Edgars, Badders, J. Hydago, Leighton and Black will round out the top 10. Very, very good qualifying session there. As I said, Jab claiming 6 poles in a row. Whew. So here we go then. I can have a look where everyone else qualified. It was GSR Deluxe who claims P11. He is going to have the first free choice of tyre. Brute Gorgon in the Haas starts P12. Boca in P13 in the other Mercedes. Ruben in P14. I believe he is racing on controller. And Cormac unable to get a proper lap in the session. Starts plumb last in the Ferrari. Here we go then. What are all the mixed strategies around the grid? We have Deluxe, Ruben, the only one starting mediums, Cormac and Boca optic soft compound tyre. Of course, the top 10 all qualified on these softs. So, my predictions for the top 3. I think Jab will claim another win here. Maybe another dominant win, just like last time out in Belgium. I think we will see Phil alongside him on the podium in P2. And in third place, I'm gonna go for Leighton in P3 on this podium. Ones to watch out for: GSR Deluxe, first person on the mediums. Obviously, FH, he can save his tyres quite well. He's obviously starting on the outside, which is the better line through turn 1. Sharpie, very, very quick around this track, almost beating Jab to pole. It's Edgar's. Okay, he's getting back past Badders. And another one you might want to watch out for, Badders. He has very, very good consistency, especially in the race. We'll see what he can do from P7. The lone McLaren here today. As we come to the end of the formation lap. 26 laps lie ahead of us here. Oh, there's Badders spins on the formation lap. Oh, and so does Edgar's just in front of him. Cormac can be the last one to get put into the AI car here. As we reform the grid for this GSR Tier 1 British Grand Prix. Want a better camera than this game? This is not a good camera. We'll have to deal with it, I guess. As the last car slips into place, and it's lights out, and away we go. Sharpie with an amazing start. Already fully alongside the Aston Martin of Jab. The big lockup, the first braking zone of the lap. FH also sneaks up into the podium places as Leighton loses the place. Badders claims P7. Blackrock has lost the place to GSR Deluxe, who's alongside J Hidalgo into Brooklands. Deluxe, does he get the move done? J Hidalgo still on his outside. This is a great battle for this opening lap here. Deluxe, can he hang around there? So there's contact and they're both around. And that's a reset from the reset with the timers. Jab is right up the gearbox of Sharpie through here into the Magus Beckett section. The biggest gainer on this opening lap is Boca and Cormac, both gaining 3 positions. But here comes Jab using the ERS into Stowe. They get on board from FH here. Sharpie squeezing him very, very fast to the outside. Very fair racing between these two. And Sharpie keeps the lead. Everyone in the DRS train so far, apart from the 2 who crashed on the opening lap, which is J Hidalgo and Deluxe. As Deluxe goes very wide through there. Okay then. Don't watch out for Deluxe. As through sector 1 again with Sharpie. Leading Jab, still this top 3 has not changed from lap 1 as GSR Deluxe leaves the session. Leighton very, very close to Badders, going through into Brooklands. Does he have a try down the inside? Yes, he does. He certainly has a look. There is no contact yet. Oh! Contact between the 2 as they both go wide. And that leaves Boca, Blackroar, Brute Gorgon, Cormac and Ruben all to take places off them. As Edgar's right on the back of Sam Cole and Jab still right on the back of the Aston Martin. Not to use any of his ERS. Very famous both there. Brute the highest on the mediums, just ahead of Ruben, who sits P11. a lock up there from Ruben actually. Into Vale. As the two GSR boys, Leighton and Batters, find themselves almost plumb last, just ahead of J Hidalgo, who speeds into the pit lane. And I don't think he's going to be retired. I think he's going to be opting for a set of the medium compound tyre here. As DRS has been enabled, sorry. Jab, does he try and get past Sharpie here? Jab not using any of the ERS. He does gain quite a lot in the straight though. Edgars, does he try and get past Sam? No. Finn, right on the back of these front two here. He could be within a shout of snatching that P1 if they have a calamity just in front of him. Jab seems to be very quick in a straight line compared to Sharpie. As Sharpie goes a small bit off track through Cops as Blackraw picks up the first penalty of the race, and J Hidalgo, he has gone onto the hard compound tyre. Jab then down the hanger straight into Stowe. Does he go for the move? He does not. He backs off actually going into Stowe there. Top 5 stays the same, but Boca getting past Blackraw there. Blackraw does not fight it back. Ruben was quite close to passing Brute Gorgon there as well. So there's a yellow flag who's gone off. And he's going to hit the wall and out of this race. 2 DNF first 4 laps here. FH right on the back of Jab yet again through turn 1 and 2. Jab then down the inside of Sharpie. If you have a great onboard view from FH, Jab getting the move done absolutely beautifully through Brooklands there. And now he's surely looking to extend his gap away from the Alfa Romeo man. As FH then goes a small bit wide, well, more than a small bit wide at Cops. Sam watching these three, just waiting to pounce. Same with Edgars and Phil. Phil dropping a bit off at the front 5. Sam is using his ERS, so is FH. Sharpie, does he try and move on Jab? He certainly got the overspeed into the corner. He decides not to, and I think there was a bit of contact between Finn and Sharpie there, as there's a yellow flag for, I believe that's Blackraw. Yes, it is. He's gone off at Cops and lost his wing. As FH close to the back of Sharpie now, through Club. Yet again, Finn very, very quickly set to his Cormac as the fastest lap. Does Sharpie try a move onto Jab, or is he going to be too far? I think he's going to be too far away from Jab to try and move, unless he decides to use some of his ERS, which he is doing now. But he's still not going to be close enough for the move. I think he was mainly using his ERS to defend from FH behind. But FH with an amazing line through there. Blackraw picks up a 5-second time for speeding in the pit lane, and he retires. Third retiree of this race, sorry. As through Brooklands and Woodcut, through Cops, FH yet again almost running wide and picking up another warning. His Edgars does actually go wide. Sam Cole still just waiting to pounce on the Irishman in P3. Very patient from Sam so far, as Sharpie makes a small mistake through Chapel. As here comes FH, and here comes Sharpie on Jab to the outside of Stowe. Can he get the move done? If he can, this would be monumental. It's amazing from Sharpie. As FH also having a look to the inside of Jab. Not the best exit for FH there, but a change of the lead again between Sharpie and Jab. No changes anywhere else, as Cormac is getting quite fast on these guys in front. Boca sets the fastest lap as Edgars, the first of the top 5 to pick up a penalty, as I believe J Hidalgo has spun again. Yes, he has. Unlucky for the man in P12 in the Alpha Tauri. On board then with Sam, but we're going to look to Jab. Does he try to move into Lovefields and Brooklands. No, he does not. It's J Hidalgo. Yet again. Oh no, he's just waiting on track. What's this? Not very smart from J Hidalgo. I think he's trying to get himself disqualified. There's Sharpie lifting off quite a bit through Cops there. He's top 5, top 6, almost top 7 as Cormac goes very wide through Cops. I'd be surprised if that's not a warning as Boca picks up his first time penalty of the evening. His jab then going back at Sharpie into Stowe. Does he get the move done? No, he backs off yet again. So FH yet again so close but unable to make the move. As Sam Cole actually pits from P4 in his Red Bull. Obviously Sam going for the undercut here. Jab then. Close to Sharpie. Again. Down the Wellington straight. Is he going to make the move into Brooklands? We'll ride on board with FH to see. No, he's still not close enough to make the move as Jab. Sharpie seems to be running very low wings to be able to go keep ahead of Jab on the straights. I'm not sure if Jab was lifting. If he wasn't, that's impressive from Sharpie to be racing with those wings. As Cormac still, he's dropped Boca out of his DRS actually. And Cormac trying to break into the DRS of Phil, who sits in P5 and goes quite wide at Cops yet again. FH, does he pounce this lap on Jab? And Sharpie will look back from the view of Sharpie. Sharpie using a bit of DRS. Jab decided not to use any. Does he make the move? No, he lifts off again. The Jab playing the waiting game then. Edgar's yet again very close to the back of the car he is following. Been a good race from Edgar so far. Apart from him picking up his penalty as J Hidalgo pulls into the pits and retires his Alpha Tauri car. There's a safety car. What is that? It's quite odd. Shouldn't have been a safety car for that. This game confuses me. Anyway, safety car on lap 8 of this race. This is really going to screw over Sam Cole. Not sure why there's a safety car, so I believe J Hidalgo is kind of in the pits. But this certainly calms it down for Sharpie. He's been under pressure from Jab from the past few laps. Jab, Sharpie, FH, Edgars and Phil all peel off into the pit. Cormac and Boca double stacking it as Ruben picks off of his medium. Very interesting for the man in the Red Bull. Picking off those medium compound tyres. As FH beats Edgars out, but does not beat Sharpie or Jam out. Phil is behind Edgars, gets by Boca in stacks. I believe Sam will be out behind this entire train of cars. Not the whole train. Will he be out in front of his teammate though? Yes, he will. So Sam losing places to Edgars and Phil. Well, the only man not to pit so far in this race. Well, no, this certainly calms it all down. Safety car's already in. That's a very short safety car. Right then, when does he decide to go? He's already gone. Not really catching Sharpie by surprise. But still. Keeps the lead through turn 1. FH very close to the back of Jab, down the inside. Can he keep the move? Can he get it done? No, he can't. Very hard racing between those two as they bang wheels. Ruben staying ahead of Boca. There's Cormac using ERS to try and get past ETSR Batters. He's not going to be able to make a move there. But FH almost capitalising off Jab's very, very scruffy restart to take that P2 spot. Yeah, so though. Sharpie, when can he get the move done on Brute? And if he does get a move done, will Jab be able to follow him or not? Because Jab is very close. Sharpie, does he try to move into Snow this lap? I think he's going to try it. But he's not going to be close enough. Brute then keeps the lead for another lap. FH yet again having a look down the inside of Jab. Jab just doesn't have the confidence on the brakes that FH does. As Brute makes a mistake, Sharpie squirming everywhere on the traction. Keeps his net P1 just about over the man in the Aston Martin. Here comes Sharpie though, down the inside. Can he get the move done? FH goes down the inside again on Jab. He's unable to keep the move. Kind of getting cut off by the Alpha Sharpie there. And to hang in on Jab. FH gets the move done. As Cormac has spun at the back. To a net P2. Sharpie's still unable to get past the Haas of Brute Gorgon. This has not been good for the man in the Alfa Romeo. As Brute just about moves over on him. Oh! FH almost running to the back of Sharpie through Magnussen Beckett's there. Off Chapel. FH using the ERS, same with Jab, same with Edgars. Sharpie now using the ERS halfway down the street, turns it off immediately. FH is going to try it on Sharpie. Into Stowe, does he get the move done? More wheel bagging between FH and another one of his rivals. Around the outside into Vale. Can he keep this move? Can he make it stick? Sharpie gets and he does make it stick. What a move from FH. Is jabbing Sharpie almost spin through turn 1. Phil! Hits into the back of Edgars. Gets front wing damage. That's Phil's race ruined. He's running one on Sam Cole. Out of Aintree. Down the Wellington straight. Is he going to try to move on ETSR Edgars here? He's just not going to be close enough. FH! He's going to be the first to get the move done on Brute Gorgon. And Sharpie still unable to pass the Haas. Oh, Sharpie! That's a big crash. The man that was running a net P2 crashes with the only man yet to pit in this race. And now Brute, does he try and get past FH? Yes, he does. He's coming out very, very quickly. Breezes past the Mercedes man. As Sam gets past Edgar's, Boca on the outside of the Ferrari now. Into Vale, can he replicate what his teammate did to Sharpie? Rubbing wheels, Boca, he can replicate the move, but Edgar's still on the outside, rubbing wheels yet again as Edgar's picks up another 3-second time penalty. And Boca recreates the exact same move. As Brute makes a mistake through turn 1 and 2, this allows FH back up into the lead of the race. As Sam tries a move on Jab through the loop section. He's unable to get him off the traction. But he's certainly going to have a good run down into Brooklands. Just to turn off his ERS and not go at the man in the Aston Martin. Ruben on his hard compound tyres, sticking well with the pack. As Phil, yeah, with his damage, understeering absolutely everywhere. Badders has actually lost the ERS to Ruben here. Brute going to be going at FH again, maybe, into Stowe corner here. He definitely is, as he turns on the ERS very, very early. The man in the Haas. It's inevitable for FH. He can't defend the position. From Brute gets back well. As Jab looking to the inside of FH, very, very close racing between those. I believe there's a small bit of contact. Brute, FH. Gonna look back off the rear view of a Brute Gorgon as Ruben. In front now. Jab, unable to get the move done. There, through the section. Looking back on ass of Brute Gorgon. FH down. Backs up very decisive from the man in the Mercedes. Because the highest DRS of this top 7, the DRS stream is Jab, who still has 100% ERS close with Brute, leads to 7 that picks up his first of the day. Oh, his Jab just goes straight on! But Paris is the Jab. Brute looking to the inside of FH, unable to make the move. This is on for a double Mercedes podium here. As Bados speaks into the pit lane and retires from the session. Only 9 people left in this race. Sam down the inside. A little bit of a squirm there from Sam. It's into Brute Gorgon, and Brute goes off track. Still maintains his position ahead of Edgar's for the time being into Brooklands there. The Brute into P. Sam has his eyes set on the man in the Mercedes, FRT F84, and his eyes on the lead. Edgar's 2/10 behind Boca through Cops. Edgar's has been driving with 6 seconds off penalties to his neck. This moment in time. Run your down. Is he going to be close? He's not, but Sam, he's off their face to make the move out. And it's very going to run him over Boca. It's just a double Mercedes podium at the minute. It's Brute. Gorgon still just not deciding to pit. Oh, then Sam. Is he going to try what he did to Brute? No, he's not. To propose to him. Not to use his ERS down into Brooklands here. Just the back has joined us. Phil's own race at the moment. Going for the fastest. There's some Zoast car. Right back on Cole. Out of Chapel. This is going to be just a shit. Gaining quite quickly on Sam there.
in the first pass of that straight. Not enough for either Sam or Edgars to clear the play. It still stays out on those hard compound tires. Still not reaction. I'll invite him one more time. I'll lock it into loop section. Now, off entry. On board with Mr. Boca. Switch board with Sam. Not to use any ERS. This is quite quick in a straight line with it anyway. It feels. FH with a small bit of corner. Stowe. Still not using them. Game who is here as bad as who retired a few laps ago leaves the session. He's top 5 here. 4. Brew has not pitted. All sitting in this entire class as well. Brew Mag 18th of FH 444 with FH's teammate just behind the pace at first. For the entire top 4.5 seconds. 4 cars, 1.5 seconds as Ruben finally is able to rejoin the session and hop back into his Red Bull car and continue his race. As Jab sets the fastest lap on those medium compound tires after him. As FH seems to be finding some pace medium sandwich flowers. Edgars was lacking a bit for me. It's probably doing. Yeah, I didn't believe. Yeah, still yet to pit. 18 laps on these mediums. Without a punctures, it was very, very wide through cops. But Boca able to follow Sam very closely here. Peru Maggots back Apple. Does he get? Does. Will we see Boca going at Sam? He turns off his wheel beard. Sam was extremely close to me. I'm actually top 2 here. Sam, only 1 warning, and FH with also 1 warning, which he picked up on the last lap. It was equal to fight off his mediums. Edgars then, no one behind him. Only has to pile pressure on the 3 in front. As Cormac gets promoted into P5. Jab giving chase to the other Ferrari. Sam's very, very close to FH this time. In, out of entry. Sam surely going to be going for the move this time on the Irishman. Darts to the inside. Sam gets the move done. Up into P. Sam Cole. FH demoted into just in front of Sam. Old mediums. Doesn't have much ERS, but we know he's quick and especially with that. Now do the try and watch the Red Bull of Sam. Speaking of Sam, I've disconnected, haven't I? Yes, I have. Brilliant. Rejoin the session as quick. It was bound to happen at one point. Anyway, rejoining the session is cool. Boom. Back in. Now then. Jump. As FH, he was not able to get past the Red Bull. Looking backwards then, from the Red Bull, 2 Mercedes, 2 Black Arrows, looking menacing. Boca getting very, very close to his teammate, decides not to attack him down this straight. FH is going to dart to the inside. Stowe goes FH on Sam Cole, reaching the lead of the race. Boca unable to make a move, still on Sam Cole. Jab gaining quite quickly on Cormac here. As you'd expect, his Jab is probably the quickest in this tier. Gorgon going for the fastest lap, no doubt. The fastest lap currently is a 28.1 with jab. Rugolgo needs to improve by 1.3 seconds to claim that fastest lap, which I don't think he's doing at the moment. We're on board again with Boca. Do we see Sam dart to the inside to try and re-overtake FH for that P1 spot? Not yet. Sam Cole yet again playing the waiting game. As Phil yet again just sitting back, deciding not to give up and keep that special P9 on his GSR debut. Sam Cole having to go down into 7th gear through Cops there. We're going to get a lovely dynamic shot through Cops here of all 4 cars in a snake-like form down the hangar straight then. Sam Cole gets very close to the back of FH again, but is unable to make the move. Is Boca. Does he look to the inside of Sam? No, he does not. Edgars stays behind. Phil picks up his first penalty of the day. And Boca, who started P13, is currently on course for a podium as Brute picks up a 3-second time again. Cormac, who started P15, is currently on for a P6 finish at the hands of Jab, who's going to take that position off him, off of penalties. Sam yet again getting close to FH, but is unable to make the move. Boca with an amazing exit off Loffields there. Deciding not to use any ERS and save it all. Through Maggots, Beckett's winding through the twisty turny part of this track. Does Sam go at FH again, deciding not to use any ERS, and he backs off yet again. As FH goes up very wide. That's surely a warning for the Irishman. Oh, it was not. So FH Sam Cole. But here we go. 3 laps to go in this race. FH leads Sam Cole as Boca going for a move. Sam managing to keep that P2 spot. Boca though isn't going to give up. Edgars is going to try and move around the outside of Boca into Brooklands. Boca breaks that bit late. P3 over Edgars on track. Very close racing between the 3 at the front. So then, side of move. He's going to go for it this time. He just goes around the outside of FH into Stowe. Very good from Sam. Is he going to be able to make it stick as Boca tries following him through? Boca backs off. Decides not to go for the move on his teammate. As Brute spun out of turn 1. Lucky for him. He's yet again on the back of Boca. Edgars trying to get back into Ortiz, but only with just unable to make the move. FH then. Is he just going to sit behind Sam? Wait for the final lap and then pounce? Or is he going to go for it this lap and try and pull the gap? We'll have to see. It's the Hassa Brute Gorgon. I believe he might have given Sam Cole DRS here too early. There's Boca dropping off his teammate here. And Edgar's dropping off of Boca. FH, he is waiting. He doesn't have that much ERS though. Sam Cole with 60. FH, only 10%. As we come round Vale and Club to start the final of this Britain Cole from turn 1. Most likely
Going to FH4. FH unable to get off. Has that gone for it last lap? He ahead of Red Bull driver. Does not get a penalty, luckily for him. I think it's too late for F. I don't think he's going to be able to make his ERS. FH, the goal was in to go. It's ahead of FH. Bruises the car. That isn't a reset. I know that's not. As he went into the pit sideways, it does that. As Sam Cole runs the final corner to win the British Grand Prix ahead of FRT FH. A double Mercedes podium yet again today. Jab comes home to finish P5 as Cormac enters the pit and finishes our raining. As I'm going to get the up there. Interview. Very, very good racing between the two. You have FH joining us. Hello. Sam's all joining. There he is. About Boca. But guys, please include your audio. What a battle between you two that was.
Oh, I was so close.
Between you two. That was very, very good to watch. Of course, you two trading quite a few times in the last 5 laps. His ERS, and use it in the final lap just to stay ahead of you. The F1's podium for in Tier 1 and both, and Tier 2. That's Mercedes leader. How do you feel about that?
Well, it's a good result. Got a bit more, but it's nice to set up a podium. It's just annoying shit it was because I won that race, but yeah, 210s better than me, ERS, so he deserves to win some fair play as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. I can't be honest at times.
That was amazing to watch. Boca also having he was there too, and almost being beaten by Jab. Exactly 4th and 5th there. But an amazing battle watch between you two. Finn, congratulations, Sam. Race.
And it was Bruno having a go at me. I have no idea why, but yeah, it was a good battle at the end, and it saves my ERS really. So
yeah, amazing battle with 2 races today. Exact same top 3 in both tiers. Red Bull on top in both. Double Mercedes P2 and P3 in both tiers.
yeah.
Not sure about Tier 3 because I'd never bother watching Tier 3, but
Yeah, so
yeah,
Tier 3 we won. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, did Red Bull actually win that?
Amazing race.
Ew.
Sam obviously getting screwed by the safety car, trying the undercut,
Yeah.
unable to finish to get the undercut to the safety car, managing to recover and claim P1. A great race, great battle. I'm sure FH kicking himself about to take the win today. 2/10 separate battle. I've said this more, but yeah, amazing. Great. This has been Britain. I've been. That's next week for Tier
Round 1.
Austria.
Yep.
For round 7 of the championship. Thank you and goodbye.